Hello and welcome back to the Nasty Metal particular channel here at YouTube, and welcome to another box set showcase. Now, of course, I had announced this back on my last Nasty Metal podcast, so you should know, if you had watched it, you should know what I'll be showcasing here for this. As of course is the second volume of this. This, of course, is Krautrock Original Album Series, which again, the follow-up to, of course, just Krautrock Original Album Series, which the first one was released in 2015. This was released the following year, 2016. So here, again, some of the same bands are on here. I mean, you get at least Parzival's second album and also last album, Baroque. You get Message with their fourth album, Synapse. Then, of course, you have, of course, Gift's second and last album, Blue Apple. The only difference is that there is a album from Satin on here, and, of course, you have a album from pingmei, which these two bands were not present on this first volume. Instead, on here, it was Asterix and Dusseldorf. So, that's definitely one of the differences here. So, with that, I don't want to make this too long. So without further ado, let's definitely get into the actual, me showing everything in here. So with that, let's definitely get right in. So here we have the box here. So there's the front here, of course, a very similar design to Krautrock 1 Original Album Series. The only difference is, again, a little different picture design, but still, we have the similar of, contain the covers for at least all 5 of the CDs here. So, there's that. Now the back, which again, similar to everything, of course, track listing for all 5 of the albums here. So, there we go. Spines and texts and so on. There. Now on to disc number 1, which of course is the second and final album from Parzival. It's titled Baroque. So here we have the front cover here, which compared to a lot of the other stuff in the past box sets or these original album series, this one's very interesting because it's got more of a shinier finish to this one. It's not as so kind of making it seem less, I guess, cheaply made, even though I don't want to be that harsh and everything, but still, it's got a very nice, cool, shiny finish and everything, which just makes it very unique and all of that. So, there, front cover there. Back cover, again, track listing, as we can see, just like with the Legend, there is about 3 bonus tracks. The very first bonus track, is, of course, is tacked at the first, which, of course, is the A side of that 7-inch, which, of course, was titled Souls Married to the Wind. The B side of that, of course, was added as track number 1 on the Legend CD that was, put on Krautrock 1. So there's your first bonus track. The other 2 bonus tracks are tacked at the end, which are Party Bird and Veronic, which of course were rough demos recorded in 1970. So there, about 11 songs here. Basically 8 songs, but 3 bonus tracks. And so now here we got is the CD. Now, compared to the, of course, their first full-length album, Legend, this one, it still has some of the Jethro Tull kind of folky, kind of, influence styles and so on this album. However, it's more proggier, almost more electric guitar based in some areas. So definitely more a straight up British style progressive rock. I mean, it's still rooted within like, you know, the krautrock stuff, but it's just more proggier compared to Legend. Still very good. I don't know which one I like more. At first, when I had heard the first set, or at least the first album, you know, when I was listening to these for the very first time, I think I was kind of was more leaning more towards this album, Baroque. However, upon re-listening to this one, you know, re-listening to when I was to do these videos, these box set showcases, when I was doing, you know, Krautrock 1, I think in many ways, I think I'm starting to kind of lean more towards Legend. But still, this is definitely not a bad album at all still. So it's definitely a good, you know, German prog rock. And again, it's their final album. So there's disc number 1, which is Baroque from Parzival. Now, disc number 2 here, which of course is the 4th full-length album from Message. It's Synapse. So we have the front cover there. Very cool and so on. Back cover, their track listing, and now the CD. Oops. All right. Synapse. Now, prior to this, of course, you might have caught on the box there. There is a little text on the back of this box here, at least the Krautrock Original Album Series box. If you had noticed, there is a text saying "First time on CD." This is this. Prior to this box set, this album here, Synapse, the 4th album from Message, was never released officially on CD until this box set, which came out in 2016. It was only available on record. It was on CD for a while, but it was only bootlegged. This is the first official CD, at least for this album, Synapse. So very, very cool. And of course, since 2016, there has been a standalone Japanese CD copy, but still, definitely still compared, I think, as far as the price for that Japanese CD, you can easily get the set for almost the same price, and you get about 5 albums here. So I would say it's more of a bargain compared to that, but it will be the same sound quality, I would believe, on that you would get on the Japanese CD as you get on here. I think they just use the same mastering or same, you know, transfers and so on. Still, so compared to their third, their self-titled third full-length album, this one is a lot more proggier and a little more mellower compared to the self-titled third album, which had more of the heavy kind of rock feel that was still kind of present, though it was more of a transition in many ways. So here, they really fully transitioned to a straight-up prog band on here, and you can definitely hear more almost Pink Floyd-ish, almost King Crimson, and at times maybe Yes or maybe Genesis on this album than compared to the, I would say the first one, even though I'm not very familiar with the first 2 albums. So I'm just basing my opinions off of their self-titled third full-length album. But still, this is not bad. It's a grower, but I'm starting to kind of lean more towards their self-titled third album, which is definitely good. That is a good fucking album there. Here, it's fine. It's definitely not bad, but it's not nearly as heavy sounding. It's definitely more mellower in terms of that. But still, for what it is, it's still not bad. So there is disc number 2, which is Synapse from Message. Now, disc number 3 is the second full-length album from Satin Whale, which is called Last Mankind. So here we got the front cover here, and now the back cover, and of course, the CD. So, again, since most of these, when I first got the set, I was never familiar with the second one. Again, you say I can see the same thing for most of these bands here on the set. However, upon listening to this, I was really surprised. This definitely does lean on the progressive rock sound, at times krautrock, but it's a little more, but it's played hard. It's got more of a Uriah Heep thing going on with this sound, or I wouldn't say Deep Purple. It definitely seems to remind me a little more like Uriah Heep in those kind of aspects, which is really cool. I mean, of course, you'll hear it a little bit deep purplish kind of stuff going on, but it's definitely more Uriah Heep in terms of at least the comparisons here. So it definitely has more of a hard rock kind of thing going on with the sound. Still, it's definitely great. I'm definitely going to have to check out more of their albums because I definitely kind of dig this one. I know a lot of people dig the very first album, which is going to be a little more difficult. That one's a lot more hard to get a hold of, especially on CD. But on vinyl, it's even a little more difficult because I don't think it's been relatively been reissued much. But this album has been reissued quite a few times here. So definitely very good album. So there is disc number 3, Lost Mankind from Satin Whale. Now we have disc number 4, which is Concrete from pingmei. So we have the front cover there, back cover, and now the CD. So, again, was never familiar with pingmei until I got this set, and upon getting this set, turns out this is actually a live album right here. And if you see on the back here, this would have been where would be like, side A, side B, side C, and side D. So it was a double record. And the thing is, the CD copies for this album were 2 CDs, but they basically were able to fit 2 CDs onto one disc. In a way, I don't know if they really squashed it, but they definitely seem to left. I don't know if there's anything been changed, if they had to, edit stuff out. I don't know. But either way, it's definitely impressive. It sounds fine. I mean, from beginning to end, I didn't really could tell if they edited anything else out. So I'm not familiar with this. However, between the 5 of these bands here, this is probably again, I've made a lot of comparisons to where some albums will say, this has more of a British prog rock feel. This is even more British sounding. This is literally some real British hard blues rock on this album. It's actually not bad at all. I mean, the difference is that at one point they had, they were just a full-on German band, but prior to this album, they had released, was it Virtues and Sins? They had gotten a British singer. So here, this is basically that lineup with the British guy on vocals, and it really, his vocals, as far as his tone, it has more of a Rod Stewart-ish kind of feel, which definitely gives the album more of a British feel. I mean, of course, even off the bat as well, what gives this album even more of a British feel is the fact that they cover Come Together from the Beatles. The only difference is that they slow it down, almost like if Budgie had did a version of Come Together. So it's slowed down, and at times a little heavier compared to that, which is actually not bad. Almost kind of the time when the Jeff Beck group had covered Jailhouse Rock and basically slowed that one down. So it's like a similar thing what they did. Still though, this is still not bad. I would definitely compare this to at least maybe, Budgie or at times maybe UFO, but not nearly as edgy or as heavy. But it still has a good, of a hard rock feel going on with this album. Still, I actually kind of dig this. But definitely not bad. I mean, as far as other comparisons, would probably be Scorpions, but again, less German sounding, more British. Still though, I don't want to talk too much. It's still not a bad album. I definitely enjoy this. I'm going to have to definitely get some of the other, some pingmei. So there you go. Disc number 4, Concrete from pingmei. So now the very last disc, just like with the Krautrock 1, which of course featured the very first album from Gift, which again was placed as disc number 5 on there. Here, same thing. Disc number 5 here is a Gift album, and it's the second and final album from Gift. It's titled Blue Apple. So here we got is the front cover there, back cover, and now the CD. This, now compared to the very first album, there is definitely some differences. I mean, besides the fact there is definitely some lineup changes with this album, though I'm not going to go and name out which were the, the differences and who were the members that are new here. So I'm not going to go into that. Instead, I'm just going to focus on the music here. Musically, this is a lot more different compared to the first sound. The first sound had more of a straight up German rock, almost heavy German rock feel, very similar to early Scorpions. Here, they opt up to go on a more, it's more proggier still. I mean, the first time it had its prog moments, but here they definitely even go on more of a proggier way, but it's played in the style of Uriah Heep and Deep Purple. So it has more of a Uriah Heep, Deep Purple thing going on, and this for 1974, this is very much almost at times proto-metal for at least 1974, and I mean, it's the same. I mean, the first two albums, again, were pretty heavy for at least their time. The fact that I have to point this out, this song here, Everything's Alright. Oh my god, I wish I had this sound when I was doing my 70s Hard and Heavy month. That song right there, for 1974, is early fucking speed metal. And it's a freaking double bass drum assault. I mean, it predates Exciter from Judas Priest and Overkill from Motorhead. It just predates it. It's a freaking double bass drum assault. I mean, before guys again like Les Binks and Simon Phillips from Judas Priest, the drummer here is literally just again them double kick drums, and it's just again it's fast, it's heavy as well. It's a fucking rocker from start to finish. Definitely some early speed metal for 1974. Just a badass song. Definitely some great stuff. Again, if you love Uriah Heep and you love Deep Purple, this is an album you definitely shouldn't be slouching on. I recommend this album all the way. So there we go. There is all 5 CDs from Krautrock 2. So with that, and this will probably for a while be the last time I'll do anything on Krautrock. Again, there's a third set of Krautrock, and which I don't have yet, and it's got even more different bands. So it doesn't have many of the same bands that were featured here. So whenever I get that, I will definitely do a box set showcase on there. So with that, I hope all enjoyed. This every Thrashhead Sam out, and I'll see you all later. Take care, everyone.